Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thoughts from the Roundtable. Today, we're talking about the New Mutants.
Yeah.
We got a little fun story behind this podcast. Would you like to explain, Pierce, or do you want me to experience the shame again?
No, I would like to shame you, to be totally honest. So, listen, guys, we recorded this podcast, a day ago now?
Yeah.
Yesterday, in fact. We had these new mic stands. It actually turned out to be, I would say, a mediocre to average podcast. It was not bad, not at all. You know, for a first podcast in the new apartment, I think it was fine. We're getting our feet in the water, our toes wet. And Jacob here decides that he's going to save the podcast. It was a smart call, you know? You can't edit it and upload it unless you save it. One problem, he forgot the save part.
Yeah, I can't find any other reasonable explanation of what happened. All I know is that it is gone now.
Yeah, and now we sit here on the precipice of something beautiful at 10:01 p.m. Now, a lot of you are going to say, you guys, why are you complaining?
Most people your age stay up late, not us.
No.
Okay? We like to get up early, get our stuff done. We're early birds. The other yahoos our age or not.
Yeah, it's fine though, you know?
We're cooking. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling actually absurdly energized. Speak for yourself.
Jacob here actually took his chair and ran over my toe. My big toe on my right foot. I'm not going to show you guys. I was going to show the camera, but I decided that I might save that for a future date.
I want the record to show it was an accident.
It was not an accident.
Not out of malice.
It had malintent. Frankly, I'm considering legal options.
The court knows it was an accident, and I'd like to see you try, bitch.
Don't tempt me. Listen, I took a commercial law class last semester, and it is surprisingly easy to sue someone.
Is this the longest intro ever?
I think it might be, and we it's New Mutants.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about New Mutants. Please join us at the round. So New Mutants. If you haven't seen it yet, I would, with most movies, I say to go watch them. Maybe don't go watch this one. It's not very good.
It's pretty bad in almost every way. You know, you can think of the different ways you'd want to enjoy a movie. Is it serious? No. Is it got a good story? No. Good fight scenes? No. Good characters? No. Good acting? Lord, no.
It's a bit of a struggle to call it a good movie. If you do call it a good movie, I'd call you a liar. I think there are a couple problems we need to talk about. Let's talk about the acting first, right? They try to do accents in this movie, and usually, if you're a good actor, make sure you're a good actor before you do this. I don't mind accents. Sometimes I kind of like them, you know? You made the mention the last time we recorded of the guy who plays Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Not American, good American accent.
Believable.
Yeah, I believe he was American. In this movie, there's a man, he's supposed to be from Kentucky, supposed to have a southern accent. He's from England and doesn't have a southern accent. And guess what? You can tell. There are parts of the movie where I think he forgets he's supposed to do a southern accent. You know, there's a girl who's supposed to be Irish. She might be Irish.
I think she's either Irish or English.
But there are parts when she just doesn't sound Irish.
No.
And it's a real flaw.
Yeah, also I'd say a flaw is the accents are absolutely not believable, even when they're on. It's like Mr. Stranger Things boy. I'm not sure if you know who Mr. Stranger Things boy is. He's the one who is dating the hot sister in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
He's Will's brother.
Will's brother. Really, he's a cool character. I'm forgetting his name. That's why I'm not saying it.
I like him in Stranger Things a lot.
He did really good. It seems like his prep for this movie might just be watching Kentucky Fried Chicken advertisements on YouTube. it's not a real Kentucky accent, right? Have you ever heard someone who talks like that?
No. When I hear Kentucky accent, they have a bit of a drawl, kind of like me.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't even know they have a drawl. You just have to throw it in on a couple words.
You can't do it on everything. You can't do like a stereotypical Texan accent for Kentucky. Kentucky's really more Midwest.
Yeah. And, I mean, it depends on where you're from, really, but you have to be some certain parts to have a thick Southern accent like this young man was pretending to have.
Or you have to fake it. Now, I have known a good few people in my life who have faked Southern accents to seem cooler. That is a very popular... Have you not seen this? No. Okay, I'm not going to name names here because obviously names are bad to name.
Sure.
But to imply to you, there was someone in my younger years who I was very close with, not so much anymore, but he thought it was cool to be Southern, very Southern pride, Southern roots young man. And so he would fake a Southern accent, mostly around women, in order to impress them, right? Now, this never worked because we live in a small town and it's not like you meet a bunch of random women when you're in 7th and 8th grade, right? So everyone knew that he didn't actually have a Southern accent, and it really almost worked the opposite of in his favor.
I used to think that I didn't have a Southern accent. And when people would point out, like if you were traveling, like, where are you from? The South? And I would say, Indiana. They'd be like, Southern Indiana? Like, yep. I can tell in your voice. What? No, you can't. I have a bit of a draw.
You do have a bit of a draw.
I didn't realize I did until we started recording the pod, by the way.
Until you started listening to yourself?
I sound kind of like a hick. It's not on every word, though. It's just on like a few words where you can definitely tell.
But not like you're talking like this 24/7,
Yeah.
You're not spitting chew every...
Well.
Yeah. Well.
No, accents are bad in this movie. You know what else is bad in this movie? Fight scenes.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be a horror movie. It wasn't. I don't think any part of it was scary. There was a part that was, you could say, the argument's there for thrilling, and that's with when they fought the Smiley Men.
You would have to argue.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work on me, but I think some people could hear the argument.
Like a baby's first superhero movie.
Sure.
Kind of.
Sure. You'd be like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Smiley villain, there are a few villains in this movie.
No, there aren't.
There's 2.
There's 0 villains in this movie.
Okay, antagonist, would that be the word?
No!
Yeah, but they're all against them.
Antagonists would imply that they have a significant part of the plot, right? You have your protagonist and your antagonist. CGI freaks, the only antagonist I would say is that doctor lady, right?
Yeah, but even then,
the main villains were nothing more than really just goons. Like, you wouldn't call like the thugs that the Joker hired in The Dark Knight as the main villains, the antagonists. You'd be like, oh, those are the side characters.
They're like Koopa Troopas from Mario.
Yeah. It was like, imagine if you had a bunch of side characters and you said that these are your main characters, but then you didn't give them any main character attributes. You just kept them as side characters. Yeah. That's what this movie is.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where it falls short. We've had this discussion before, Pierce and I have, about how we like movies with strong antagonists. Arguably, they're the best part of the movie. That's the kind of movies we really like.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, that could be a part of the reason we hate it. Also, it could be it's so poorly written. That's a different topic in a different minute.
Yeah.
The fight scenes are bad.
Yeah. And before we get really off topic too much, I would want to go into the fact, I want to talk about horror movies a little bit. I talked about this last recording, and I think it's a point that stands. What makes a horror movie scary? Is it the villain? Is it the spooky ghosts? Or is the fear you feel in a horror movie because you relate to the helplessness of our protagonist, right? Think about that, because I've been thinking about it a lot recently. Some of the best horror movies out there, I would say all of the best horror movies out there, is not necessarily because of an overpowered enemy, but an underpowered protagonist, right? Let's take, for example, Hush. One of my all-time favorite horror movies.
So good.
Why is that movie good? Why?
Helplessness of our person we're supposed to like.
She's deaf. She can't do anything. It's overwhelming odds. Say, for example, that she was a superhero and she could hold her own in a fight easily, almost a fair fight against the enemy. Would it be scary anymore, or would it be thrilling? It would change. It would be thrilling at that point. This is why this movie shouldn't be marketed as a horror movie, and why really it'd be hard pressed to find a superhero movie that could work in this genre. Because when your protagonists are superpowered and can punch the demon bear in the face and not feel pain, I mean, you can't really ever feel like their lives are in danger.
Right, and I think that where this movie also, it shouldn't be marketed as a horror movie. It's not. In the commercials, we saw the smiley men. We've talked about them before. The smiley men were the ones who I assumed, I really did, that they were going to be our antagonist the whole movie. Like it was this group of youngins fighting off the smiley men. And then, in all reality, it was like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the movie. Really just a waste of a character that we still don't really get.
Mm-hmm.
And it should have never been marketed as a horror movie, because that was the only part, again, that you could argue was scary, and it wasn't. So that was a waste. And I agree with you. The superhero genre and the horror genre I just don't think they belong together.
They don't jive well.
No. It'd be like if you were making like a romance horror movie, right? No. Maybe don't do that.
It just doesn't work. Horror might just be a genre that stands on its own.
Yeah.
You can't really market it with another. You can't have a horror comedy. You can try with movies like The Babysitter.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Both movies, once again, I would say are enjoyable to watch. Jacob hates The Babysitter. I'm a fan of bad movies, so I like it. Both these movies are fun, but they're not scary. Neither are scary, because it needs to stand on its own for it to be truly scary.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the X-Men part of this movie.
What X-Men part?
Yeah. I think the whole labeling as an X-Men movie was just to get people in the seats. But Fox kind of forgot that no one cares about X-Men anymore.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I think they mentioned X-Men once. And one of the coolest parts of X-Men, in my opinion, as we know from one of our most popular clips on social media, I'm a fan of rankings. And X-Men features rankings. A level 5 mutant, there's only one. Jean Grey, Phoenix, or Dark Phoenix, depending on what universe you're in. And yeah, this would have been a perfect movie to maybe talk about that. They didn't mention it once. Why? Also, big problem here, they were talking about how the Moonchild woman, the bear lady,
Danny.
She's one of the most powerful mutants we've ever seen. We gotta kill her. Slow down. Why would you kill the most powerful one you've ever seen if you want to use them for evil? Also, does Jean Grey not exist in this universe? What exists and what doesn't?
I'm pretty sure this is X-Men universe.
Right?
They talk about the X-Men in this movie.
But aren't there... Yeah, I don't know.
So now I haven't seen Dark Phoenix.
Neither have I.
I don't know. The X-Men have a real bad rap of fucking with timelines.
Right.
Never, listen, if you want to make a coherent story, just leave the timeline the fuck alone.
So what you're saying is that the Marvel Universe is going to struggle from this point on?
The Marvel Universe is in a bit of a pickle. And not the
A
good
pickle
kind,
Rick?
like the American pickle.
I like that movie.
It's a
by the
great
way.
movie. It's a really well done film. But listen, Marvel, you idiots. And I say that harshly. I liked Endgame. You're stupid for inventing time travel. It now means that the entire universe has legit no more stakes. Because, oh, shoot, a hero died, but his movie did well. Good thing we have time travel to go back. I saw a theory the other day. Listen, first off, I gotta preface this with we witnessed this week the incredibly tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
That there is no beating around the bush. That's a huge loss. He was an incredible talent. One, it feels really disingenuous that the only thing people care about him for was Black Panther. That feels almost gross. He did so many other movies.
Yeah. He was in 42, which is by far his best performance for me.
Yeah.
I love that movie, and I don't like baseball. It's a great story. It's a great American history story, and he did a great job portraying the hero that Jackie Robinson is. He was a good hero, but I agree, it is gross that people are like, oh, he was Black Panther.
I think it's really gross, one, also, that they're doing that stupid quote from Black Panther 1, where it's like, like when I die, my ancestors run against the fields, or whatever. Oh, guys, come on. You do realize he's not T'Challa, right? Like, in real life, like, that's not exactly what he believes. I'm just going to take a shot in the park, that he's going to be running in the African fields. Yeah, it just feels weird. But what I was going to say, I saw a theory, and it says, Marvel, this is the only acceptable thing you can do for Black Panther 2. Go back in time, resurrect Killmonger, now that Chadwick Boseman died, and make him the new Black Panther. And I saw that, and I was like,
That's what they're going to do, though.
I was like, yeah, that's what they're going to do. But now we've entered into the Marvel that I do not care about at all.
Yeah, this next section, I'm just not interested. The only Marvel movie I know that's coming out that I'm halfway interested in is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of interested for Black Widow.
Oh, yeah.
I think that movie is going to be kind of cool. Now that there's time travel, nothing matters anymore. It would have been a great way to end the franchise. I'll stick with this. If we ended after Endgame, if that was the end of Marvel, that would have been the best movie franchise of all time, undoubtedly, factually, and would have the best end. But now we're going to get into the point where it's overstayed its welcome and it's now going to become bad.
Which is kind of what we saw with the X-Men when they tried rebooting it, like with First Class and whatnot, and it just didn't jive with people. I think it's going to be that way until they do like a full reboot of X-Men and the MCU both.
Yeah.
They're going to just be stuck in this limbo, releasing movies that make decent money, but that no one really likes.
Yeah.
And this is the time to strike for my DC boys, but that's another conversation.
You know what's sad? Is DC's not even going to strike.
True, and
DC's going to muster up like a baby punch.
I care so much more, too. I really want the DC universe to succeed.
We've had Marvel now.
I know.
DC has better heroes and better villains.
That's 100%. The
better villains for a fact.
For sure.
Now,
especially now that Thanos is gone.
Yeah.
He's the only cool villain from Marvel.
I mean, they've got Galactus, but you can't really throw Galactus in.
You have to use X-Men, too. Or you have to use the Fantastic Four.
I know, which would just... We've seen the Fantastic Four in film before.
Twice.
Gosh, and it fails both times. But what I was going to say is... I will say that I will stand by the fact that Spider-Man as a solo franchise, in my opinion, and solely my opinion, is the best superhero with the best roster of villains. That is easily argued by Batman.
Yeah, I was easily. For me, as a you're probably not afraid to admit this. You're a Spider-Man fanboy.
I'm more a Peter Parker fanboy.
Right. See, I'm a Batman guy through and through.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the Batman animated shows when I was growing up, which is why I love Batman so much. And I think that the argument is not there that those are by far the two best characters with the best possibility for character development plus the best villains.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Those are your top two.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, I don't know, MCU Spider-Man, I could rant 4 hours. I think I probably have ranted 4 hours about the blatant misuse of the character.
Yep.
The misunderstanding completely of what it means to be Peter Parker.
Yep.
And the horrible choice of villains. Out of his A-list freaking villain category, we've got Mysterio as a main villain. Oh my gosh, that's a side character I've ever seen one. And they just did it so poorly. But another time, another place. I want to talk about love. The kind of love that we should not see on screen, especially from a superhero film. Let's talk about ages in movies. You know, if you were, say, Jacob, a director of a film,
Okay.
and you want to have two women naked together in the shower, what is step number 1 on your checklist besides find two women?
Maybe make sure they're both of age.
Yeah. Maybe make sure that they're both at least 18.
Sure.
You know, because, you know, if you were to have younger women,
I wouldn't really want them sexualized.
yeah, cute love is okay. A coming of age story featuring a 12-year-old boy in his first kiss.
Or a teen movie, right?
Where you have maybe a high school woman and boy making out by a car.
There's obviously, okay, so like in one of those, there's obviously sexual tension between them, but it's very innocent.
Mm-hmm. The sexual tension from that age of life.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here, that's puberty. Especially like guys and girls, you're thinking the thoughts.
Sure.
And if you have the means, you're performing the deeds.
Sure.
You know? But let's be honest here. This isn't real life. This is a movie. You're making a movie. You're putting something on film. Do not, and Fox, I'm talking to you directly here. Do not say in the first scene right before this that the two characters are 16 and 15 and then have them make out and say, have you ever been with a woman before?
Implying that they've slept with other partners. Not very cool. You know,
gross.
And people might be like, "Wow, this is really unpopular. That's really not cool of you guys." I would feel the same way if it was man and woman.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? It's just don't put a sexy children. That wasn't good English, but I think I got my point.
Don't put a sexy children.
Yeah.
Not on camera. Not for me. I think that's one of like the biggest problems with apps like TikTok, for example.
The talk.
It's a bunch of women dancing in bikinis. That is a lot of TikTok. They don't require like ages there. I've known people, or I shouldn't say known personally, but I've, you know, through the grapevine, through high school and young people, there are girls that I know that have incredibly high follower counts on TikTok for posting videos of them dancing in bikinis. These girls are 14. I don't think that that's appropriate. I think there's a lot of sad men out there.
Sure.
Maybe we shouldn't be doing that in films. And I actually think that like them being lesbian was probably the most interesting thing about this movie.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. We see a lot of gay leads. We see a lot of straight leads.
Sure.
We see so few lesbians. Even lesbian minor characters, which is odd.
Yeah. I'm not a statistician, but I assume there's just as many gay as lesbian.
In like movies?
In general. Like in life.
Oh, I thought it was like, I don't know, dude. I think
No, I'm saying in life.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, real quick.
Mhm.
Unless you have something else on this point, I want to say something about TikTok.
Let's talk about
Okay, I want to mention why I don't have a TikTok and the only reason I'd get one.
it. Okay.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've gotten, as ashamed as I am to say this, I've gotten very close to creating one because I want a feed of 40-year-old people with no teeth talking and dancing, and the bad Minecraft videos that Pierce is obsessed with. And I wanna make sure my feed is only like that. Is it worth giving up my day to the Chinese? Probably. You know, I want to see people from, you know, Alabama, where there's not a Walmart within an hour. There's one gas station in the town, and they're just living life. They've got a tooth. They're doing TikTok dances. That's what I want. I want to make myself physically get sick by watching TikToks. Will I get it? TBD. Come back for the next episode.
I think like that's a big problem in TikTok though, is because your For You page, what I've heard from insider sources, i.e. Patrick DeBoer, he says that the For You page is pretty easily customized.
Yeah.
And you can, the more you watch something, the more it's on your For You page. And so like, but it's the process of doing it, right?
I'm gonna have to deal with dancing children for like what, a week maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find the rednecks.
Yeah.
That I want.
There are two versions of TikTok that I'm incredibly interested in. I've got trucker TikTok because I find truckers hilarious. The idea of trucking, I think it's the word really that I find so funny.
We really want trucker's wife t-shirts.
I think that would be very cool. My mom doesn't get it.
Oh no, I think like you have to be a certain person to be like, that's funny, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you like this podcast, you're like, I know what you're talking about. That's funny.
I was this close the other day, right? I found a shirt on Google. It just said, I kissed a trucker and I got lucky. I was so close. They had it in like a crew neck hoodie, $20.
Oh, that's a good deal.
It's a good deal, right? But I didn't do it. But trucker TikTok's funny. I also really want the side of Minecraft TikTok that's bad, right? But I don't want to have good Minecraft TikToks, right? Because then I'm going to be ashamed.
Right, because you're going to like them.
I know, and it's hard enough unironically liking Minecraft videos on YouTube at this age. If I'm watching them on TikTok, I've got a real problem with future friends, right?
Yeah, I have a real problem. Like every time I see a TikTok on Instagram that's been reposted or something, I try to avoid it because my biggest worry is that I'm going to get TikTok. I don't, like I've been swearing it off for a year that it's been popular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, TikTok's stupid, and now I want it. And like, I don't know, I just don't like going back on my word.
At this point, we've trashed TikTok
too much,
especially even on this podcast,
way
so
too
much. And now the podcast is public, right? So not only have we trashed TikTok privately, but also not very many people, but
3
online. So it's almost hard to go back on that word. But I don't know. I saw a Minecraft TikTok today that it was obviously, a Minecraft TikTok is good when they don't screen record it, and it's used like through the TikTok onboard camera, and it's just a picture of their phone or a video from their phone, and it was like creepy almost. It was him looking at this girl's skin through a window, and he was crouched, and he was like, "This is my Minecraft crush. I've had a crush on this woman for about 3 years now. Should I ask her to place my Minecraft bed next to mine?" And now if you think that that's hot and steamy, I get it. But like, I found that was amusing. They all play like really stereotypically bad music, unironically, makes it funnier. But the caption on Instagram was so fucking funny to me. Because it caught me so off guard. It was the last thing was like, should I place my Minecraft bed next to hers? And the guy on there was like, go for it, man. You've got this. exclamation point, strong arm emoji.
Yeah, that was a really good podcast where we talked about X-Men for the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was really bad, and it's probably for the best because you don't want to hear us say, "Wow, this movie was really bad," for 30 minutes. No one does. So we hope you enjoyed it, even though we got a little bit off topic. And if you like our stuff, check out our Linktree. We have like some other stuff on there, like, you know, if you're on the apps, you can look at our YouTube, and you can check out our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
If you also are on the podcast apps, might I implore you, my lady, or my man,
I think it's Sire.
Sire, please head on over to Apple Podcasts. You don't have to have an iPhone. You can go on Google and look it up and just rate us 5 stars because it really actually does help on getting the podcast out there.
Yes.
Rate us 5 stars. Write us a comment. If the comment's funny, I might read it.
Yeah, there was a guy who had a really funny comment on there one time.
Yeah?
His name was like Todd Burpo or something.
That's crazy. Didn't he write a book?
Yeah, Heaven is for real.
Oh, really? Wasn't that exposed as a fraud book?
Yeah. But like, he's a fan, so like, I can't really hate on him.
You can't really hate the Burpo?
He's a hero. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, guys.